Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast. We were going to have a very special podcast for you. It's safe to say it still might be a very different podcast than normal. Let me first get to my co-host. As always, started off with Christian. Christian, how are you doing today, bro?
I am doing all right.
How about you, Sam? Sam, also joined by Sam again. How are you, dude? As always,
I am speechless, to be honest. There's no other way to sum up my feelings than speechless.
Yeah. Listen, we'll get right into it. We were supposed to have an interview with Travante Williams. We had the approval from Travante Williams for at least a week now. He had told us that we asked him last week. Last week, he told us that it was a little tight for him, that he would be doing it this week with us. For our regular viewers, you already know we don't really do anything at this time at the podcast. It's usually later on. One of the reasons why Sam hasn't joined us for so long. But, we moved things around. We made this a very special day for us, for the podcast, for the viewers, because we were going to finally interact with an athlete who, again, speaks our language. Like, this is a very niche podcast as it is. On top of it, we speak English about a Portuguese club. So to have like an American athlete with us, somebody that we enjoy. But then, and of course, gave us the approval. We're not just shooting from the shit saying that we were going to have him on. We were going to have him on. And literally 10 minutes before going live with him, sending him the link, we get a phone call from Sporting's press. What exactly did he say? Sporting's press officer?
He just said he was a press officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying that. I guess to make a long story short, but saying that we can't go live with Travante, or we can't do an interview with Travante because one, nothing went directly through the club, and two,
to be fair, I think he changed the reason why, right? So
yes,
he originally said it's because we didn't directly go through the club, and there's a protocol in place. Like, if you want to interview an athlete, you go through the club, you go through official means. Okay, whatever. On its first surface, maybe that may seem like a fair enough answer. But when pushed on that a little bit, okay, so you're the official channel. We're sitting on the phone right now, man. Like, let's set it up. What do we have to do? Then it became clear that he did not want to help us set it up at any point in the future. And the real reason that he didn't want to have Travante on the podcast is because our opinions on this podcast are out of the spectrum of acceptability at Sporting. The debate that's allowed, apparently, we crossed that line, because the only debate that's allowed is, I guess, Verandas in this administration is good. And if you stray from that line, you're deemed unacceptable, I guess. So that's pretty much what happened 10 minutes ago.
And just
10 minutes ago.
For both of us, for all of us, nothing Travante could have done. He seems like a really nice guy. Yeah. He was up for it. It's not his fault at all. So please do not send any hate Travante's way. Not his fault at all. It's that press officer who was just, I hate to use the word dictatorship, but what other word can you use? You speak bad against someone and we get punished for it. So we do apologize, but it's nothing we could have done, unfortunately.
And to also point out, to be fair, we had absolutely no plans to talk with Travante about anything political. We even ahead of time in the chat, like, we want to talk about basketball, we want to talk about Sporting, we want to talk about him. Like, we weren't going to talk about that stuff. But now, instead of sitting here, us having a harmless conversation about basketball, we're sitting here talking about how Verandas' administration directly censored our podcast. I mean, confirming firsthand everything that we've ever said about him, everything that we've ever thought about him. I mean, it just impacts us directly now. Like, it really happened to us. Like, and it's pretty crazy to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane. It's insane. I was just explaining it, like saying to my brother, and I mentioned earlier the nicheness of this podcast. At best, we get 126 views at best. At best, live. I was just expecting with Travante, if we can push like 20 people, like we did when the 160 boys were on. We'll call a spade a spade. This podcast is nowhere near huge. Again, I'll pull up the
it's for a couple hundred. We would have got a couple hundred views on the interview for sure. Like
exactly. No sort of monetary gain from this would ever come as well. Again, we do this for a hobby. This is fun to us. You know, we're just talking our club. And because we were very opinionated, or we are very opinionated in terms of this direction being and this administration being detrimental to Sporting. And I think this is another one, again, like another proof that more and more this club is no longer for the fans like us. It's one of the reasons why, you know, you have Arsenal Fan TV, for example, is because there's that disconnection. And the way this is going, it's not like this club is winning titles. It's more and more becoming disconnected from the fans. I'm still shocked. My head is still rattled.
So what they said to me, I've got YouTube here as backup, because we were in this chat. We were waiting for Travante. I sent him the link. I got a call out of nowhere, Portuguese number. At first, I thought it was Travante, just confirming everything. But the reason he gave us after we pushed him on setting up another interview, he said, due to negative comments on Verandas, that we won't be basically having any guest affiliated with Sporting, which is sad. But like Danny said, we don't do this for money. We do it to entertain, and we do it because we love it.
Think about what platforms would be available for interviews with Sporting players then. If saying a negative thing about Verandas takes you out of the running for an interview. I guess that just leaves Record TV.
Exactly.
It's the only place you can do an interview then.
But no, it was literally, if I'm stuttering, I apologize. I was shaking when I got that call. Never in a million years did I think that would happen. But like everyone said, it's a disgrace. We're fans. We're not doing this for monetary gain. And like I also said to the guy, so basically, just because we have an opinion on Verandas, we're not allowed. And his reply, I believe, you two can correct me if I'm wrong, said something that we also have the opinion to not let Travante or anyone else come on the podcast. It's basically what he said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spot on. Shall we start pulling receipts?
Like, I mean, basically, this confirmed to me two things, which I guess are good for us, right? They see the stuff that we post on Twitter, right? Because there's almost no faction of Twitter outside of like established journal, newspapers in Portugal, stuff like that. Like maybe like that clown who writes for Record, who literally is the Record sporting writer. Like these are the only people on Twitter that are constantly defending Verandas. So these guys are looking around, right? And they're poking around, and they've seen our tweets before, right? And by them seeing our tweets, they've seen your tweets too. And they were kind of scared, right? They were scared that we were going to say something with Travante on the podcast, so they wanted to make it not happen. So that to me says that they think that we kind of have some power, right? So I will take that. And now we have this story. Like they are so dumb. They're so dumb. We were going to talk about basketball in Oliveirense and basketball in Alaska, and now we're sat here talking about this instead, which is so much worse for them than us talking about basketball.
we wanted to preview this upcoming season. I wanted to really ask them how the mentality was for the boys to get their season canceled a point ahead of their rivals, how it was to play the first derby coming back after years of no basketball team. How was it playing for Champions League qualification after, again, years of no basketball for Sporting? their expectations going forward in Europe this year. What it was like. Christian was really dying at what it was like with him to now play with what's his name? Oh my God, Shakir again. How it came full circle. Listen, I emphasize, we wanted to talk just basketball. And on top of that, our guy Steph, who couldn't be with us today, of course, even he was letting it known. I'll read directly from the comments that we had. Monday, 12:30 p.m. He asked, where is it? Fuck, I just had it. Do a separate show, must be basically.
Just I'll interrupt you, Danny.
Yeah, go ahead, because I lost it.
Or our Twitter account goes anywhere, it's not by fault of us. I'm just saying, if this podcast mysteriously gets deleted or whatever, it's not us.
They'd be pretty good. I mean, if they get this deleted, they are. Maybe we're under. If they get this deleted, it means they're like they have like the phones of Juve Leo members tapped, because that means they have like insane sway with people that they shouldn't, which I don't think that they do.
Well, no, I was just on say if they threaten us with legal action, which I don't think they can.
Oh yeah, go for it. Send it, bro.
Yeah, so, but
legal. You heard his fee fees. You heard Fernandez's fee fees. We're gonna take legal action.
But no, yeah. If it goes anywhere, it's not us. Just remember that. But we should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What grounds do they really have? Again, it's more pathetic censorship. It's like the dude who had that huge show on Sporting TV who said one bad word against Fernandes, and I mean, not only is he nowhere to be seen, but he was even kicked out of the channel. Yeah, I don't know.
They are not fans of dissent in any way. They really don't like dissent, because I think that they don't really have an answer to the dissent, so they just want to eliminate any semblance of conversation about anything of substance.
It's not like we were attacking him as a person. We weren't attacking his family. We were literally just giving our opinion on how he runs the club. We're giving an opinion
as thousands of other people do, and millions of other people do about anything else, like on the internet. Like,
do you think like Arsenal or Chelsea or those big clubs they censor anyone? I don't think so. There's a possibility, but like,
I mean, it's just hard. Like, good luck getting a Boomayang on your pod, like trying to connect with him. It's like that's
Arsenal.
Task, you know?
Arsenal Fan TV have been shitting on Kroenke for years. That never stopped them from. I mean, it's maybe stopped them from working with the club, but Bellerin's been on Arsenal Fan TV multiple times. I'm a fan of the channel. I have to admit it. It's fun laughing at Arsenal. Side note, but Bellerin's been on the channel. Obama blood clot Yang. Like, come on, the club acknowledged this. Signed the team. The club acknowledged this, and Arsenal Fan TV have been super critical and have. I don't even want to say they have like 100 times the audience that we have, and for little old Sporting can't let a modalidade player, a basketball player, not a soccer player, not a futsal player, which I believe futsal is even bigger than basketball over in Portugal, but a basketball player come to our podcast to chat basketball. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then and it only helps the cause that I remember back when this whole Bruno Carvalho thing was going on, that he was the dictator. He was running Sporting like North Korea. We can't even talk to an athlete. And they tell us 10 minutes before we were about to go on and after we announced it. It's a fucking joke.
They have a really warped perception of like what they need to do or like what their marketing strategy is, right? So see how Arsenal, they realized that Arsenal Fan TV was popular, right? And people liked it. So they used it to help their own marketing rather than attempting to crush it, and instead saying like, oh, we have the only way to like interact and market with this stuff. But the thing is they do such a shitty job. It's like you're trying to be the only channel for this type of content, but like you tweet player announcement videos, or you don't even tweet player announcement videos. You just post pictures of them shaking Veranda's head. You signed 8 players this season and you haven't done one single creative thing. It's like, there's room for us to even exist in this space because you're so bad, like on social. So
Not to mention the last 3 years, Sporting's English Twitter following was not from the English account. It was ours. Let's call a spade a spade. And then, listen, I think we've done, not to toot our own horn, because again, I want to emphasize this is a very small podcast and a very small, even a Twitter following. But we've done so much in terms of like unifying or just like getting a community of us immigrant-based Sporting fans, whether it's over in the UK like Sam, in Canada like me, in the States like Nando, Christian, and Steph, because there's a huge Portuguese community all over the world. We have a listener in from Georgia, from Jordan, I should say. Sorry, we have fans, Jose, who listens to us from Australia. We've done so much in terms of like English-based Sporting fans, and to gain that love again for the club that was missing for so long. And they can't recognize that positive stuff. They can only recognize that we're against Varandas, even though when it came election time, we were very much like, listen, if Benedito doesn't win and Varandas does, like maybe the club is in okay hands.
And guess what? I can also call a spade a spade. Benedito's a bitch, right? I'll say that too, right? I'm in equal opportunity ready to call you a bitch if you're a bitch. So
we've criticized Bruno Carvalho millions of times here as well. Millions of times here.
When he was president, we said when he did wrong, we said that sometimes he was a bit arrogant and sometimes he did come across as there's no point getting into it now, but we've slated everyone, to Bruno Carvalho, to Bendito, to Varandas, to Yannick Bolasie, and all these players, all these people, like, because that's what you do when you support a club. You support them, but if they play shit,
you don't just say they're all good always, like robots. Like, yeah,
especially after losing a 5-0 to Benfica, for example.
That was a great game, man. Like, we're supposed to come on and say that was a great game. I guess is what they want. Bruno Tabata 5 million, 50%. That's a great fucking deal. That's a bargain.
We're supposed to be. I mean, Camacho. We wasted how much on him, and he's not even in the squad this year. For example, like great signing, Varandas. Continue this, please.
Yeah, on deadline day, he signed 3 wingers for that Fernando Bolasie and Yete.
while selling our entire right side.
We need one striker because we had Luis Felipe up front, and that was it. No one else, and he brought in 3 wingers and sold Matheus Pereira for no apparent reason. So
basically, what I want to say with all of that is we don't discuss Varandas per se. We discuss the club. We discuss our opinions on the club. Like Christian said, anybody can get it, because if in our eyes as fans we think you're doing the club wrong, listen, we're gonna say it how it is. We're gonna say how we see it. The same way we talk about the game and analyze the soccer games is the same way we analyze maybe the political movements that are going on. All 3 of us as Sócios, for example, never living in Portugal, Sócios. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And I don't know any other English-speaking anything that does for the modalities specifically, like we are with Travante, that do as much or anywhere near as us. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And the only ones after that do exist that speak, like maybe there's a few others that speak Portuguese that I'm just not aware of, but it's just Sporting160 and basically our mother company, if you will, but basically who we're in association with, like all I'm saying is it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah.
It's
I appreciate you guys being here with us, though.
For real.
Again, sorry that it didn't work out, but I mean, at least we got a good story out of it, right? And it reinforced everything that you already thought, right? I mean, and if you were sitting on the fence before, you needed to see a firsthand example. Here you go.
Yeah. Here you go.
I mean, you guys want to just do a quick anything else?
Well, I was just gonna add that I'm sure we've never, like I said before, we've never insulted him as a person. He might be a lovely person, we know. He might be.
I met him, by the way. I shook his hand. I took a picture with him. I talked to him.
Christian has a picture with him.
And you can ask him. You can ask him, was I being a dick to him? No. Wasn't a dick to him at all. So
never.
But it's like
I see Manuel Fernandes too. Have
shaking hundreds of hands. He doesn't remember me, but if I was a dick to him, he would have remembered me, maybe.
But no, it's just like we've been trying to get guests on before, even before the second year anniversary. When we first started, me and Steph talked to, I think, Carolyn, who plays for the Sporting women's team, and we've been messaging people and they've not replied whatever. So this was going to be our first big time like sporting guest. I know we've had big guests like Sporting160, Three Tugas and stuff like that, but that was going to be our athlete that we were going to have. And I messaged quite a few people. I didn't have many responses, but basically all of that is out the window now, unless they don't.
I mean, it's out the window for pretty
Current.
much any podcast to have any athletes on ever, right? Because unless there's some like record podcast or something, that's the only way anyone will be able to get an interview. So, I mean, Sporting160 in Portugal can't get one. Ruggie do Verde can't get one. I mean, like, no one's getting one. So
yeah,
that's also what that means.
It's like I've messaged some other people. I'm going to say it now. They've not replied, but someone like Yannick Bolasie, Scalotto, and players that we would love to have on, and that would be beneficial for us because they can come on if they want. There might be some things with their clubs that we might have to go through, whatever. And that's the thing. We never had an issue. If the guy just said, okay, you need to do it through the official channels, fine. That's our mistake. We would have said. But it's when we pushed him on that, and then he brings up that excuse, makes us think like Danny said, we're noticed by them, obviously. But who else is noticed? Is Sporting160 noticed? Is a Twitter account with 3 followers noticed? Like, where does it stop? And that is incredibly frustrating for us because we had a lot of good questions. We had, I don't know how many, I think it was like 10 from the audience, and we had loads of questions. Like you said, it was going to be a good one, but I just think it's, I guess, not deflating, but we're all disappointed. I assume the fans are as well. But like, it's literally shocking. I would never in a million years I thought that would happen.
Yeah.
At the last minute too, from the top rope, crazy.
It literally was. I was here. I sent it to Travante. It was 10 minutes before. Get a call, and if they would have done it before, it would have been. We still would have been pissed. Don't get me wrong, but 10 minutes before. And I said, are you going to do anything like it's 10 minutes before? He didn't give me an answer. He just shrugged it off and just said,
he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I didn't get the guy's name, unfortunately, but he seemed like not a very nice guy. Or maybe he's doing his job, which could be fair.
He's just taking orders, man. He's just taking orders.
Yeah, so he might just be innocent as well if he has to take orders. But, I mean, there are ways to go about it, and I feel like that was probably the wrong way to go about it, in my opinion. But
it's not the way to go about it if you want us to softly let you down on a podcast, because that is not what we've done and not what they've earned. So
no,
you actions have consequences, I guess.
Yeah. Deflated. Listen, my last thing is I mean, from this group mainly is I don't think you'll quite exactly find like a bunch of guys that care for this club from other parts of the world like we do, you know, in terms of traveling to New York, like us North American based guys did last summer or the summer before. I know I took a 13 fucking hour bus ride from Toronto to New York, was in New York for maybe 28 hours before taking another 13-hour bus ride back up to Toronto to work the next day.
The room you stayed in was about the size of
my closet.
Yeah.
Of my closet. So Rui asks, so what exactly happened? So we'll do a play-by-play. Literally, we were on at 2:30. We were supposed to do this podcast at 3. Just discussing how we're going to go about it, how to ask what questions we were going to ask, et cetera, et cetera. And then we get a DM at 2:40 from Travante himself saying, hey there. Sam got the DM, really.
He said, hello there, and then asked for my number, which I thought maybe he just wanted to clarify a few things. So I sent him my number, and then that's when the call came from the press officer.
Yeah, basically he was first talking in Portuguese. Sam told him that he didn't speak Portuguese. Literally play by play. We'll go play by play.
21 years old.
It was only like a 2-minute call, right?
Yeah, 2-3 minutes that I regret not going live on. Let me just also say that I really regret not pressing the live button.
3 minutes in total. The call was 7:47, so about 13 minutes before we were supposed to go live with Travante.
Yeah. And then the guy was just basically explaining to us he's the press officer of Sporting. and how Travante was being a nice guy to us by accepting the invitation, but that
because he is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. 100%. 100%. Sound dude. And we were doing our homework just before, once he said yes to doing the podcast with us, we were doing our homework. We were watching, he has an interview up, a 2-part interview up that I highly suggest you guys go watch. What was the guy's name? I know it's Living for a Living. That's the podcast name.
I'll get the name. I'll get the name for you.
Cool.
Just keep going.
Basically explaining like his whole life story, and we weren't even going to get too into that, but maybe touch points on that. But anyways,
Joey Bradley.
Joey Bradley.
Yep.
Perfect. So yeah, suggest watching that on YouTube, guys, because again, Travante Williams is a great guy and he deserves all the exposure he could get and should get. What was I saying? Yes, basically the press officer then started speaking to us in English. Then explaining to us that, again, like I said, Travante Williams was a nice guy for accepting the invitation, but that he didn't go through the club and that the club needs to authorize these things. Again, this is all 10 minutes before we were going live. The club needs to authorize these things, and that and that was his first excuse. And then as we started pressing him, like Christian was saying earlier on the podcast, we asked him if Travante got permission to do a past interview with Living for a Living. He said that his words exactly were, it doesn't matter. This
Which
podcast
means no.
No. This podcast, and then he's explaining how this podcast is very opinionated and has towards the current administration, how we are basically bad mouthing the administration, and that this interview will not continue. We sort of not really argued, but we then just sorry.
We pleaded our case. We just said why. Like, give us a reason. Because like I said, I just said, so is there a way we can reschedule? Because I was up for that. We all were. Like, it would have been disappointing, but we could have done it another day. But that's where the verandas thing came in. Exactly.
And then he said, we are of the opinion, we can hold our opinion towards verandas that we want, but Sporting can be of the opinion to not let us go on with this interview. And then that was exactly what happened. We seen that there was no going forward with this. He explained to us also that we needed to, this was just in the beginning, that we needed to call Sporting's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like press office to confirm any future interviews. We then tried to ask for a phone number, and he specifically just said, well, the number that called you, for all we know, that number that called us can very well just block Sam's number, and that's that.
Probably, yeah.
Or it's just a general like office number that you need an extension to get anywhere. So it's just like it's just a number that leads nowhere. So I'm guessing that's probably what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. And then at the end of that was it. We hung up, and here we are. Disappointed, rattled, unbelievable. I can't believe my own club did this to us.
I can believe it, but I can't believe that they actually did do it. Like I can believe, like obviously they had the capability to do it, but I can't believe they actually chose to use the ability to do that. Yeah, good stuff. That's a good, funny comment. Yeah, Tuvais Spencer could maybe get an interview also, but he has his moments too. I mean, if the requirement is no criticism ever, I don't think that he would even pass that because he's probably criticized him like 3 times. So,
yeah, exactly. And I just really want to quickly look at these like retweet numbers for it to even like go towards any. We had 15 retweets on the tweet we did today, and of the announcement, we had 123 likes, 37 retweets. I can't believe this even got on Sporting's radar. I can't believe this even got on Sporting's radar.
Bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, that means we're on the radar. And if we were only brought to the attention of the radar, we are going to continue on the radar going forward. So that's cool. That's cool. I
was just gonna say, like, if there is a guest not affiliated with Sporting that you'd like to see come on here, please at them, then at us.
Or a former player, someone that they can't pull this bullshit on, right? Someone who's no longer affiliated with the club, and you think would be willing to chat.
The dream for me, not sure about you two, Bruno Di Carvalho would be amazing to have on here. It's a long shot, definitely, 100%.
Who's someone who got totally railroaded?
Freddie Montero. Listen,
he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
If Freddie Montero comes to Toronto with Vancouver, I promise you, I will fucking beg. I'm planning on seeing him.
Freddie's too nice, man. Freddie wouldn't drop the hammer. Freddie's way too nice. But we need like Bojinov or someone who's ready to just drop the hammer or something. Who's the guy? Shikabala, someone like that, man. Like
Yannick Bolasie.
10 years ago.
Everyone at Yannick Bolasie and ask him to come on Sporting160EN.
Dude.
Same Bruno Di Carvalho. Anyone else you want to see, at them with this link and just say it, because we're trying. Honestly, we are trying. We're not just sitting here waiting. We have reached out, but it's difficult. But if you at these people for us, tag us in it, we'll retweet you. It would just be great if you lot could help us by asking him to come on. So if you could do that, it would mean the world to us.
Yeah, but lastly, the only thing I think is funny with everybody saying Bolasie, it would be lovely to get him on. I think we have more of a chance to get him on. And for those who have been consistently watching the podcast, Steph has trashed Bolasie more times than I can remember. And I have a feeling we have more of a chance of getting Bolasie than any current Sporting player now, which is ridiculous.
I mean, I've always loved Bolasie, and that is that is a fact. You will all know that. I love Bolasie. So.
We criticize his performances, sure. We can be critical, but
within the realm of players that would even be potentially available, they also have to speak English as well. So I'm just thinking of random like Seydou Doumbia or something. Like, would he spill the beans? Like I'm just trying to like it's got to be random guys like that are the people that we look to. But yeah, we'll do some investigative research.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, at them and tweet us as well. We need all the support we can get. Like we would love, like I said, the dream.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let us have an interview with Elodie. 0% chance.
I wouldn't want an interview with Elodie.
I would take it.
You know what else? Yeah, I could take. Beggars can't be choosers. To be fair. Yeah. Anything else to say before we kind of move on to another? We'll finish the podcast off by talking Passos and LASK.
Veranda's out.
Veranda's out. Yeah.
I think you should probably worry a bit more about that and less more about what their basketball players are doing out in their free time.
Get it trending.
He had some serious contention at the AG. His budget just failed. I think you might have some more important stuff to worry about, buddy, than what's going on over here. But I appreciate the hype, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for that, guys. All right. Let's get into the Paços Ferreira game then. And we can also do we can also do a little preview of LASK as well. So this weekend, Sporting went away and beat Paços Ferreira 2-0. Our starting 11 was as followed. We had Adhan back in net. We had Fedal, Coach, Luis Neto as a back line with Nuno Mendes and Porro on the wing back positions. We had Wendell and Nuno Mendes, Jovan Cabral, Luciano Vieto, and Tiago Tomás. Basically, an unchanged lineup with Antunes coming off the bench for his debut, Daniel Bragança coming off the bench with amazing tackers, by the way. Sporar coming off the bench, and Nuno Santos, the first of many coming back from testing positive from COVID. As we've seen today, that's just mentioning today how players have come back from training. Anyways, Christian, I'll start it off with you, dude. What were your thoughts on this 2-0 win?
It wasn't a bad game. It was one of those games where it's like Sporting is kind of taking it to them possession wise. They're not really generating too many chances, but we're also not, generating that many chances. We got the deadlock broken probably earlier than we deserved because of the PK, which I guess we can talk about. It was suspect, I guess, to say the least. And then Jovan got hurt right after that and seems to be in doubt for tomorrow as a result of that, which kind of sucks. But at least we do have some other reinforcements, which we'll also get to. But going back to the past game, it wasn't incredible. It was it was fine. There was some players that I liked. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the second goal was the corner kick, it was a corner kick, I think. I mean, I don't really have much. It was fine. Sporting probably deserved to win. Portugal really didn't create enough. They had the one in the first half. I remember early. They had like 2 chances in the first 15 minutes, and then maybe 1 in the second half, and that's about it. So, deserved winners. Comfortable win. Hopefully they can keep it rolling tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Sam?
I mean, for me, I thought Wendell was man of the match by far. He was absolutely incredible. The ball stuck to his feet like glue. It was fantastic. He was all over the pitch. Great passes. And I see in the comments here, Porro was also very good. I think he's going to be amazing for us. A 2-year loan. I'm not sure if there's any option to buy on it. But, I mean, so far, I don't want to jinx anything because a few performances doesn't make a good player. But he seems good. When Nuno Santos came off the bench, I thought he was good as well. Very fast. There was that one counter-attack run he did, which was incredible. It was literally watching like Usain Bolt run the 100 meters. But
torched Marcelo, man.
I forget Marcelo played for us. Because he was just there. He was just
he didn't play ever. And then he went to the Chicago Fire, and somehow is back now. And he just got cooked.
But it wasn't the prettiest of games. I like to think that's a very sporting game where we capitalised on our chances. The penalty for me was not a penalty, but I'm not sure if you guys watched the Tottenham game last week. It was very similar to that, which definitely wasn't a penalty. But for me, it's good that we started the campaign off first game of the season with a win. Obviously, we played Aberdeen last week as well, and that was a 1-0 win, which was. We'll take it, but we play. Is it LASK? I don't know how to pronounce.
Yeah, LASK. LASK Linz,
which we'll get into in a bit. But I mean, we're in good form. I forgot to say, Nuno Mendes as well looks like the real deal.
He's solid every game, man. He's so consistent.
He's so mature for his age when he plays. I think I'm watching like a 25-year-old. He's what, 18, 19?
Yeah. I don't know how long I don't know if we can keep him past this season. He's too good, man. Like,
I'm even worried.
We might have to fend off the Sharks in January. Yeah. Might have to fend off the Sharks in January because he's really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was just Thiago Tomas as well. I maintain that I'm not too sure on him. He's obviously
go back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very. I don't know. But this is going to sound really weird. But do you not think he looks much older than he is? He looks like 30 years old.
Yeah, he does. He does look old. He's like 18 also, right? He does not look 18. He looks older than that. He looks like at least 26.
Yeah.
Maybe like 32, to be honest.
But it's, hopefully we can carry the good form, 2 wins in a row against LASK. But, we lost them last year 3-0. So that was away. I believe we're at home. So it could be different. But as far as the Sunday's game, that's all I have on it.
Yeah, it was a solid game. I'll be quick. It was a solid game. We held possession. The only thing I really like from this, not the only thing, one of the things I really like from the Sporting side of Ruben Amorim is how well we can keep possession, how well we work on the wings now as well. Poru and Nuno Mendes, lights out. Wendell as well, lights out. Fidel had a good game. I don't want to be saying this too loud because it might seem like I'm saying Varandas had a good transfer window. But so far, some of the players look decent. I'm not too sure about Antunes, but he also had a little bit, a few minutes to play.
He's all right. He's all right. If he plays 90 minutes, you'll probably not like him as much.
Agreed. And my last thing is that Chappelle that Daniel Bragança did to my boy Eustáquio, my fellow Canadian, was disgusting. Disgusting. Danielle, if you're somehow watching this, for namesake, great name, by the way. Bro, the guy has a family. Please. He has to come back and play with Alphonso Davies. Please don't shatter his confidence. A quick question from João Castro. What about the $5 million for 50% of Tabata? Plus the fact that he's wearing number 7 is scary to say the least. What do you think, Chris? Is Tabata going to break the number 7 curse?
I mean, Tabata is pretty good. I saw someone tweet this. Sporting is trying to sign the entire Brazil under 23 squad. They have Wendell, now they have Tabata, and they're chasing the captain, Lionco.
Nice.
So they're trying to have like the core of the Brazil Olympic team for some reason. That's what they've decided that they're gonna swoop in exclusively to try to complete. But yeah, I mean, the player is one thing, the deal is another thing. The player is a player that I think will be able to contribute. Jovan's probably out, so I mean he could even play on Thursday. We'll see, probably maybe as a sub. Based on how things are going, I think he could maybe get a cameo. But I think the player can contribute. But the deal itself is a pretty crazy deal. It's a deal that's 50% for $5 million.
Another one. Yeah,
another one. It probably worse valuation than the Gonçalves one because they paid what? They paid 8 for 50, if I'm not mistaken, or 6.5. 6.5 for 50. And he's valued at about 7. But we can all see he's quite good, right? It's closer, right? Tabata is more around 3-4, and we paid 5 for 50, which means we're valuing him at about 10, and he's much further off from 10 than Gonçalves is from 13, I think. And also there's no payment until 2022. So Tabata could maybe not even be on the team anymore. Varandas could no longer be the president anymore. And the new president will have to pick up that $5 million tab to start paying it. So it's a kick the can down the road deal. Hopefully it helps in the short term. The deal of the bank is that it helps in the short term, and we'll figure it out later. But if it doesn't hit in the short term, it's just
a
suck.
waste.
It's gonna suck. Yeah, it's a waste, and it's gonna hurt maybe you later on or someone else later on. So,
and yeah, it's also crazy. I have to mention as well the rumors of Camacho coming back. Within those same 24 hours, somebody already stole his shirt number. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah, Pass Ferreira deserved win.
Do I get it? I need to get a new Camacho jersey with his new number now, bro. Like, will they refund me for that?
No, bro. Sporting's not the other club.
We're blacklisted, dude. We are blacklisted as fuck.
Anyways, let's go forward. Let's talk about LASK. That same when we won 1-0 last week, they beat their team 7-0. Their last result was on Sunday against Wolfsberger, another top team in Austria. Let me just see where Wolfsberger sit right now. Okay, they're down in 9th, but
they've been in Europe in the past couple of years. Like I've seen.
Exactly, I believe. Yeah, exactly. They won 3-1 over the weekend. LASK did goals from Balik. I'm trying to recognize some of these guys. I think Troner was there last season. Anyways, they look like a solid team. Let me just go through the last few results. 3-1 against Wolfsberger, 7-0 against Donetska Streda, a 1-1 draw away in their second game, a 1-0 win against Austria Vienna on the 11th of September. So LASK by any means are a pushover team. They showed us that last year. We got lucky. For those that recall, in my opinion, we got lucky on our 2-1 win at home because we had about 5 minutes of brilliance from our Bruno Fernandes, who more often than not dug us out of a hole last season. Would Varandas still be president had Bruno Fernandes not dug him out of a few holes over his presidency this last year and a half? I'm not sure.
And padded the stats of all these financial reports that they push out as well, because it's like 90% of the revenue is like always that. Side note, he didn't sign Bruno Fernandes either. Side note,
exactly. And another side note on top of the side note, City just bought Ruben Dias for way more than we sold Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United.
And he's a center back.
He's a center back that won't make anywhere near the impact Bruno Fernandes made to Manchester United. But hey, it's these sort of criticisms that get us black.
Are not allowed. They're not allowed.
They're not allowed. It was a great bit of business. 55 million for Bruno Fernandes. Amazing, Fernandes. Amazing. Muito obrigado.
Up to 65 million now with objectives, which is still less than Ruben Dias. Carry on.
Yeah. Anyways, back to LASK. They're a tough team. And we got to really bring our A game if we want to make it through to the Europa League group stages. Again, it's only one game. We're playing at home, which means very little nowadays because, again, it's not like we have the home crowd to push us. I'm going to be positive because I've liked what I've seen from Sporting so far this season. I think we'll continue to hold our possession. We have a lot of guys already coming back. I hope Pedro Gonçalves comes back and hits the floor running because he is a stud of a player. He's a great buy. Percentages are iffy, but
to answer Mariana, Pot.
Yeah.
I've seen enough Vieto the past game, the 2 games. When Pot played in preseason, it was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I want that again.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, another controversy brewing, if you will. Max is available for selection now. Does he give it back to Max or does he keep rolling with what he's rolling with? What do you guys think?
Sam, I'll give it to you.
Mind it. Adan's been all right, to be fair. Like, there have been his distribution scares me quite a bit, but he's been solid when he's been called upon. He's not had to do anything too difficult, but I would say just in terms, I know goalkeepers that do a lot, but it has a match fitness. Maybe start Adan for this one.
Yeah, I'd honestly agree.
I think he's going to do that, and I would understand why he would do that, right? So, but this was always the problem for Max. Now it's like if Adan gets in this rhythm, now it's like when does he get the job back? That's how you end up. It's like it's a game of moments, right? Starting goalies and grabbing the moment to grab the spot, and then once Max grabbed the spot from Vernon, it was over, right? So it's tough now to try to build that back, especially since Adan has had confident, good enough performances, had some good moments with his feet, I thought as well. So, yeah, it's going to be tough for Max to get that back, which leads me to check my watch to see when the transfer window closes.
I was just going to say. I was going to say, don't hold your breath. When does the transfer window close? It's October 10th.
I believe it's right?
It's
a little over a week, I think.
So, let me just quickly predict. I think we'll beat LASK. Vai ser uma vitória cagada.
It's going to have to be a great game. It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, it is. What about you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I think we might have to play longer than 90 minutes, to be honest. I would not. It doesn't seem crazy to me that it could be a very hard-fought 1-1 draw. It's a knockout game, right? I think it's going to feel like that, more so than the Aberdeen game did, which was we were pedestrian, right? Even when we were winning, when it was tied, it was very pedestrian. If it can't be pedestrian, right? If it's pedestrian, we'll lose. So we're going to it's going to be a game with guys buzzing. These are the types of games where you want Porto on your team, right? Because he's the type of guy who seems like he builds off the energy and the moment. And it's if he gets hyped up, he's just going to get stuck in on a tackle. I think that they're going to be up for it for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Also, just because you mentioned transfer deadline is October 5th. Thank you to Abdallah. But 2, a potential shout of 90th minute substitution of Renan to save us in penalties. Maybe.
Ooh, he's still not
available. Is he back from COVID?
Selection. He does not. He's not been cleared yet. He's still sick, so he's got one more day to try to get cleared to potentially be on PK Wizard.
Paul Costa also saying October 16th. He believes in Russia.
Yeah, I saw somewhere 13th. So, I think in Portugal it might be the 13th, but don't quote me on that.
Fair,
because Portugal always goes later than the other big 6 leagues or whatever. Russia always has a weird time as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that Russian transfer window is very important. Let's feed into the rumors that Polina was being talked to by CSK Moscow. That can easily come back again. Don't forget, Zenit almost stole Acuna from us a few years back. So
I'm going to welcome another Russian team to bring Idrissa Doumbia back to Russia. Remember how good he was there. Sign the guy, right? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Bruno Cesar is balling in Sao Paulo, right? He's too good for us now.
Bring back Bruno Cesar. I love that.
No, Vasco da Gama. He's balling for Vasco da Gama.
Vasco da Gama, yeah. I'm just trying to see if there's any more questions that come along. I don't know if anything else needs to be said about LASK, boys.
Not
Come
about
on, cross your fingers, right?
I've got one complaint, and it's not to Sporting, not to anyone. I paid £12.99 to watch the Aberdeen game. £12.99
to who?
To Aberdeen. They got streaming to it.
You signed up for their do you have it for like a month now?
No, so you could either sign up for a month for $6.99. Oh no, it was something that it was $6.99 for members, for $12.99.
Oh my god! Imagine being a member and they still charge you for the game. The fuck?
No, but I paid $12.99 to watch that. It was so boring. Like, obviously, I'm glad to win. But you think, right? I live in the UK, Aberdeen, UK, Scottish team. Not on any English channels. Like, what the fuck? Like,
how many European games are Scottish teams playing?
Sorry.
Oh my god!
We're about to get copyrighted, bro.
My bad.
What were you saying, Chris?
I was just saying, like, how many fucking games do Scottish teams play in Europe that they're not gonna air that game? You know, like
they always
crashed out of the UCL qualifying the first game. Like Aberdeen's out. I have no idea if Motherwell won or not. If they're still in it or not. I think they may have won, but don't quote me on that. Also, who cares?
But their commentators were hating on Sporting. They were calling us basically cheats because Coates went down very easily.
The referee of that game was absolutely atrocious.
But they were
benefit us a couple times. But Coates, they're just mad because they all thought Coates was bad and they all shit on him, and then he left, and was good again. They're all like, wasn't even good enough for Liverpool or whatever. Like, not good enough for Sunderland. It's like, okay, look at it now, right? That doesn't matter, right?
Captaining a top European man.
Former top European club. He wishes he was back in Sunderland, right?
Yeah, exactly. With that beautiful weather that the north of England provides,
League One action. Fuck
yeah. Let me just, since we were supposed to have Travante Williams on, we'll quickly talk some basketball because all three of us are basketball fans. We mentioned it on past podcasts, but the boys couldn't make it to the Champions League, but they made it basically to the Europa League of European basketball.
The second Europa League, if you will.
The second Europa League, yes, correct.
If the Intertoto Cup still existed.
Exactly, or that third competition they were. Remember those rumors that were coming around like the last year?
I think it's actually happening. Yeah, there's going to be a third European competition, but yeah, it's effectively that.
Yeah, exactly. Just to say that the first league game for the basketball boys is October 10th against Galitos Bereiro away to them, and then our first home game, of course, at the Pavilion João Racha is to Lusitania. Hopefully the boys can push off from where they left off last year. Like I mentioned earlier, 1 point away or 1 point ahead of Benfica in first and 3 points ahead of Porto. I believe 7 points from Oliveirense, who were back-to-back champions, who are still really back-to-back champions because of the last season being canceled.
Yeah,
beat Benfica for both of those finals, I believe. And Benfica have a very good basketball team. Again, they've been more established than us because we've just come back. So yeah, Portuguese basketball is something to look forward to and to watch. So I'm trying to, as discouraging as we are for getting this pulled, I still want to shed light to those boys and shed light to the game of basketball that
as much as Sporting doesn't want us to be fans of the club, we're going to keep doing it. So
exactly. We're not going anywhere, guys. Sorry. we were never based out in your stadium anyway. So this is our clack section, if you will, and we're not fucking evacuating. We're not leaving. I'm just gonna quickly talk basketball with you guys. Lakers Heat. One, did you expect the Lakers or the Heat to get to the finals?
I did. There's a tweet from January, and I said that the Heat were making the finals. I'm just saying. So I should have put a or something, but yeah.
I called Heat beating Milwaukee. I was impressed on that. I said 6 games. They beat them in 5, so fair enough. I know Chris was very close to the Jimmy Butler 76ers debacle that passed off last summer. What are your your 2 cents on Jimmy buckets, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I respect Jimmy buckets, right? So the people that Jimmy hated at the Sixers are the same people that I hate. Did I just glitch out?
I thought it was me. Yeah, you're back.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have no bad blood against Jimmy Butler. I'm happy for him. I truthfully don't know who I'm rooting for. I'll admit I didn't expect Giannis to fold like a folding chair 2 years in a row. Yeah. Is he a fraud? I don't know, but
was James Harden right? All he has to do is run to the basket. Maybe.
I mean, it's just like
I still want him in Toronto.
They didn't have anything else, right? They did. Their second best player was like Chris Middleton, right? You're not going to win a championship like that. So I think the regular season illusion was, it's 2 years in a row, right? It's a regular season basketball team.
Yeah,
that's a team not built to win playoff series.
Yeah,
it'll and be the Heat are so.
That culture has to be mentioned. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's the sort of culture I can only wish that that our men's soccer team would have. That mentality. They're amazing.
Hero is a baller. I like
Hero is a baller. Yeah, I agree. He's a bucket. You can call him a bucket.
Yeah.
Hero's gonna be one. He's gonna be fun to watch throughout the years as well. And funny enough, I was watching some of his basketball highlights too.
He reminds me of like an open gym baller. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy he's balling like that at the highest level. He's incredible.
I got a recommended on YouTube his high school highlights, and he's more or less the same. He talked more shit in high school, obviously, but he's more or less the same kind of player. He just pulls up, shoots in. He can run to the rim. I mean, I've enjoyed also even Jimmy Butler saying how he likes to pick up certain matchups. It shows the confidence of the kid. I like it. He's more than just a 3-point shooter. I'm going to be honest. I think, Joan Castro saying CP3, Giannis, and Middleton equals ring. I don't know. No. I don't know. I'll say this, though. I think OKC should cash in on CP3 right now. I don't think he'll ever have as high of a ceiling anymore.
Value. He actually does have value right now.
And that OKC team was nasty.
The rumor is to the 76ers, right? Is it Chris Paul?
Yeah, there was.
I've also heard this Milwaukee one too. I've also heard the Knicks.
Yep.
Some sort of
you always hear about the
Knicks. Yeah.
All right. Predictions for the final series prediction.
Heat in 6.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Lakers and.
Sorry,
go.
Just because it's obviously a superstar league, right? Superstars will win you titles, but the Heat's depth, I think, is much better than the Lakers' depth. I think
for sure.
Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, Iguodala can lock up LeBron. It depends which one. I think they'll probably put Jimmy Butler on him and Iguodala off the bench, but I think they've got much better depth. And Bam, who we've not mentioned, is a baller.
Yeah.
What a baller. I think they're going to do it. Maybe not. I would say 6 or 7, the Miami Heat.
That's some balls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Lakers. I don't see anybody not only stopping LeBron, because not that I was necessarily rooting for Denver, but I got to go with my Canadian Jamal Murray. And I seen the reps, especially those first 2 games, really giving the Lakers all the calls. And I don't see that necessarily changing that much for the finals. Maybe a bit. They'll be a bit tougher, but I don't know. I don't see anybody stopping LeBron. And if you can stop LeBron, I don't know how well, even if they throw Bam at him or Crowder, I don't know who's stopping AD. AD is something else. And I think he's still only 27 or 28 or something like that. AD is disgusting. And once LeBron retires, I think we're going to talk about AD in a whole different light. Maybe not like the GOAT per se, but maybe top 5, top 10 best ever player. AD is something else, and he's proven it this bubble playoff. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Lakers. I want to say 5 because they've won every series in 5, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll say 6. I think the Heat can put up a fight.
I'm gonna
go
Lakers
in 6.
I'm gonna go Lakers in 7. I do think it's gonna be very, very tightly contested. But at the end of the day, cannot bet against LeBron James right now, right? So you can bet against LeBron James if he's up against a super team, and sometimes he still just somehow wills his team to beat the super team. But this Heat isn't the Warriors, right? It's a good team, but it's not the Warriors. Yeah. The Warriors, like peak Warriors. I can't bet against them, but I do think the Heat are a good team, and that's why I'm going to go 7.
Fair enough. Yeah. And Caruso's going to possibly be the ugliest guy to ever win a ring.
Another guy. How old is he? 22, 26, 42? No one knows.
He has that Iron Robin disease. He looks like he's 50 in his 20s. But he's been balling. Like there's been times where I'm shocked that this guy just taking it to the rim and shit. Yeah. Oh, and finally, Bubbles playoff MVP. I'm gonna go Jamal Murray. That's my guy. Or even just Bubble. Fair. Fair. Sick.
Wait, what was it? The Finals MVP?
Playoffs MVP.
Oh, playoffs like overall. Bubble playoff.
We can even go Finals MVP too after.
Finals MVP is gonna be LeBron.
Yeah.
But
unless the Heat win it, then it's Butler.
Bubble MVP is gonna have to be. I'll give it to because I really I feel like the teams eligible for this are teams that made it to the conference finals. Like if you
I was gonna say even Dame can be in consideration too. Like it can just be all the bubble as well. Dame went off this bubble even against the Lakers.
Yeah, he did.
Spider Webb, what's his name? Donovan Mitchell went crazy.
I mean, even Murray and Jokic both had great games as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of more from the East. But
Celtics players.
Tatum did all right. He did good. Yeah, I like Tatum. He killed my Raptors.
I mean, low-key, Gordon Dragic has been balling as well.
Yes, underrated.
Like maybe even played better than Butler, but Butler's just been bigger in the big moments. But like overall, Dragic has been so steady. I don't know. And for MVP. I don't know. Is Iguodala gonna somehow like snag that shit again?
Would love that. Another storyline that I don't think enough players are mentioning. Iggy's 6th straight finals appearance.
That's crazy.
LeBron's 10th in his 17-year career is also amazing. Yeah. I think I read something yesterday that Kyle Kuzma's girl is Tyler Hero's girl is Kuzma's ex-girlfriend. Yes, crazy.
Let me guess. She's an Instagram model.
Of course. Yeah, boys. An unexpected, but I still think another great podcast.
Turned it into something.
Yeah. Again, disappointed. Sporting. I wish you just let us fans have a voice.
Just let us be fans. Like all we're doing is trying to be fans of the club, and they're like, no, stop.
Yeah.
Stop spreading fandom to other fans.
Do not have an opinion. That's not negative.
Yeah, also don't have any opinions. Or only have good opinions.
Exactly. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching us today. Glad you guys can join us. Shout out to Abdallah Armuti as well. Just because he mentioned he's from Jordan, he mentioned that this time is perfect for him. We'll try to do this every now and again if we can. It's tough. I'm normally working at this time. But anyway, shout out to João Castro and Pedro Varela from 160, Ameriana from Sporting160 for joining us today. The real Alfred Kinski, our boy Rui, thank you for joining us. Luis Tomé, Kevin Fernandes, thank you. Paul Costa, Pasquale Light, Flippy, Tenicity. Who am I missing here? Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for the Instagram comments as well, the Twitter comments as well, getting your questions into Travante. We appreciate it. Francisco Pinheiro, thank you for joining us. You can follow us. And Miguel Morautu, thank you as well, bro. You can always find us at Sporting160_EN on Twitter, at Sporting160EN on Instagram, Sporting160EN on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. Thank you guys for joining. Viva o Sporting Clube Portugal. Doesn't matter what direction. And let me just try to get this chant through because fuck these guys. Filhos da puta. Não importa a tua meu coração. Eu já ia treinar quem é o presidente ou a direção.